Welcome to Sports Close-Up with Ed Marin, my co-host. This is Mike Fiorillo. Today's show, Major College Football and the NFL Preview. And my distinguished panel, starting to my left, Bill Griggs. Bill, thanks for coming.
Hey, it's always a pleasure.
Bill's excited because the Browns are supposed to do it all this year. To his left, Jordan Hanskin. You got it right.
You did it.
Jordan's a big Buffalo Bill fan because he's up from that neck of the woods, right?
Oh, yeah. Orchard Park.
Yeah. And for his left he needs no introduction. He has done many things on Armstrong and on the radio. Lon Wilson.
Thank
Lon,
you very much.
Thanks for coming
God
on. And
bless
you want to tell everybody you have a new wrestling show on.
Yeah, that's right. Stay tuned to Armstrong for Lonnie Boy's House Show, pro wrestling show. That's right. Every month on Armstrong. First episode. It's coming up soon. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
and we'll
good.
all be glued watching that.
That's right.
Thing,
It'll be awesome.
It might knock out News and Views as the highest rating wrestling show.
It'll be more entertaining than Vernon Township Supervisors meetings. I can guarantee you that.
Or in the commissioner meeting.
Yes, because those are awesome.
And to his left, of course, my co-host Ed Marin, a big Steeler fan for his whole life. Guys, going to start with Major College. Let's look at the Big Ten news locally. Journey Brown's going to be one of the kick returners this year for Penn State, which they start their season shortly, and he'll probably run the ball. And then you feel like he's going to get some carries this year.
I do. They're really high up on him. I still feel he's going to at least, I think, 10 to 15 touches per game is how we feel. But, I mean, with his speed and his ability, I really feel that he could easily be number one by the end of the year.
I mean, they've always talked about that they wanna have their stable backs. They want to have their multiple guys. But that means that he's definitely going to be involved. Like he's gonna make plays. And like they're going to have change of pace. I bet all their running backs bring something to the table. But everybody knows what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
I mean,
Speed.
Yeah,
Power.
exactly.
He's got
Exactly.
Power, too.
I
He's
mean,
really strong. And I was on the Penn State website the other day, and BTN, went around to all the camps, and they had a little snippet of Journey running in an inter-squad contest, and the announcer that was doing the snippet said, look at these moves by this kid named Brown. I mean, he faked a couple of Penn State defenders, left them looking for their athletic supporter, and I think he's going to have a great year for Penn State. Same Journey, too. When he's around, we got to see him this summer. Same young man. He was down at Meadville camp and their lifting program for the month of July. Same guy. He's just bubbly of, enthusiasm, big smile on his face. And what I hear is teammates really like him a lot because he's all about the other kids.
Yeah.
So it should be great. I don't know how good Penn State will be this year, but Journey's going to have a good opportunity. Want to ask you, Bill, being the local Ohio expert, a lot of people feel this is the year for Michigan because Urban Myers is gone.
That's what people think, but people haven't seen our new boy, Justin Fields, as yet, who came out of high school as the #1 recruit in the country, got buried a little bit at Georgia behind an existing quarterback, went into the portal, which is the big thing these days for disgruntled college quarterbacks, and ended up at Ohio State.
Is he from Florida? Or where's he come
I think he's from Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, Georgia, you're right. Fields is from Georgia.
But he's supposed to be a real phenom, and I think with the returning receivers, and they got DK Dobbins as a running back, and I think he's really going to have a solid year. So I think it could be typical Big Ten, Michigan and Ohio State final game to decide it, at least for the East. But,
Lon, if Harbaugh doesn't beat Ohio State this year, he might be gone.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Indiana. I'm just kidding. You can talk about
I was
Indiana.
like, wow, you got something we don't know.
So, I mean, what is Ohio State sitting right now? Number 5 in the coaches, and I think the AP.
Right.
So, I mean, they're sitting in a good position right now. No matter who wins that Big Ten, it's going to be outside looking in to get into that top 4 this year.
No question.
And I'm not trying to skip ahead, but I mean, at this point they don't need to be looking any further than the game in front of them that week because. It's not going to be that easy of a schedule, out of the Big Ten. But if they're going to put themselves in a position for a playoff run, the way they have this system set up now, Bill, I mean, it's just
it's going to be tough. There's if you look at the preseason top 25, there's 7 Big Ten teams in it,
Right.
which is ridiculous.
Right.
It's not going to happen. They're going to be knocking each other
They're going to
out.
throw each other out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Ohio State's been hexed with this for the past
You
couple
could have
years.
you could have a
One loss.
2-loss Big Ten team in the top 10.
Right.
You know.
Could, but Ohio State's had 1 loss and been out of the
Right,
out of the
exactly.
picture the last
So
couple of years.
they still only have 4. in the
And I think with the
So-
talent down in the SEC this year,
Oh boy.
I mean, Clemson's going to do a nice job of boxing in their own,
That's
conference.
Clemson, the ACC.
Right, in the ACC, but aside from that, the SEC, I mean, look at the domination that they can actually have this year in college football. And for anybody that just beats Alabama, I'm a fan. I'm buying
Whoa,
their
whoa,
jersey.
Yeah, we're all in.
I'm serious. Crimson
Whoa.
Tide, they're like empty
Whoa.
calories.
Whoa.
It's like drinking warm water on a hot day. You're like, oh, Alabama.
I can't help it. The kids want to go to that school.
That's right.
Listen, they're the highest paid
That's right.
college professionals in the sports right now. I mean,
Ooh. Oh,
I,
are we saying something about
Can I come
that?
on your wrestling show now?
no, wrestling's supposed to be fake, but I'm talking about how fake college football is right now. Them not being professional athletes.
Are you trying to say that they get paid?
I'm saying that some schools do better than others when it comes to massaging some of the top athletes into their program.
Well,
and
okay.
it might be a misconception, but I think we always think of the southern schools when we think along those lines.
Oh, absolutely.
The LSUs and the Florida States.
In fact, I'm thinking specifically of the southern
wait a
schools.
minute, we forget about the good old days of Oklahoma and
Oklahoma,
Mary Switcher.
SMU, and
Yeah, SMU. Jordan, you go along with most people. Alabama's going to make it to the national championship game again.
Well, I think
so.
the SEC has a distinct advantage when you look at the preseason polls. So there is an SEC. There is an SEC bias. There is a preconception that all the SEC teams are far superior than the others. I mean, this past week was Florida overly impressive in that game against Miami? I didn't think so.
No.
But yet they're a top 10 team.
right.
And so when an SEC team plays that team, it's like, oh wow, they beat number 8. But
Well, at
is
least-
Florida really number 8?
well, at
I mean,
least
it's
they
still the
beat
first
Miami
game of
State.
the year. You're
I
playing
think-
a high caliber
I think the
team.
only-
I mean,
in
is
Miami.
but also Miami's also
But at
not
least
really a
they-
high caliber
at
team.
least
No,
those
but it's
two-
not like playing these
Yeah.
little
That's what I
small
was
teams.
going to say. At least those two schools played against good teams, each other.
Yes, they do,
It's not
but-
like open against.
Well, look at the top
Prairie
20
and I.
guys. I mean, only UCF is the only Rudy school in
That's right.
the top 20.
Yeah,
You know,
it's-
right now as it stands in the poll. So.
Yeah, no question.
I personally think another Clemson-Alabama matchup for the
I do,
championship
too.
would. I personally think
I
that
think
would
it's
be-
going to happen. I think Alabama
it
wins
may.
this year.
But
I
my
think
don't
Georgia-
sleep
I think
on
Georgia's
LSU, though.
Georgia's
No, but
pretty
I think
good, too.
Alabama beats Clemson.
Yeah,
in the national
Georgia and
championship.
LSU are.
I think
I
it'd be
know.
bad for
But-
college football though if we keep seeing that.
But I think what happens is to a Saban team, and here's the history. You talk about John Swick isn't able to be here today, but I did some research myself. Every time he loses a bowl game, his next year his team's either lose one game or none. Alabama, I'm talking about. So
They're going to be in. They've got an automatic bid as far as the.
It still would be
committee's
nice to see
concerned.
18 playoff.
and you know you're right. The committee's concerned, and also when they put in Alabama in the playoffs.
Wait, did you just say Alabama?
Yeah, when they put Alabama in the
Sorry.
playoffs.
Long Island accent, I
Look-
love
look-
it.
Yeah, but he's been gone for like 50 years.
Look about all the people that go. I mean, they draw well. I mean, they sell out every ticket, every hotel room.
Yeah,
So,
they're a good drawer.
Guys, the Pac-10. Who's Pac-10 school this year? Anybody?
Pac-12.
Pac-12.
Pac-12, yeah.
There's not really much there in terms of
It
national
looks like
championship.
Washington.
I mean, Oregon's
Oregon's,
gonna
yeah.
be fun because their quarterback's really good, and people will be talking about him all the time for NFL draft stuff.
Stanford's top 25.
Stanford's always competitive. Stanford's unique because they're totally different than all the other
Their
Pac-12
kids can
teams.
read.
Stanford
Stanford
plays,
Let's be honest. That's a brilliant team that plays. They're
and they
very
play
smart.
hard nosed football. Like they
Actually,
play
pass
very
answers
similar to the Big Ten style. You
Well
see that-
coached.
yeah, exactly.
How about the ACC locally Pitt? How's Pitt going to be this year, guys?
You know, how can you ever predict Pitt if you're like me and a diehard Pitt fan?
Yeah.
And I've lived and died with Pitt all my life. And I am a Pitt fan. I am not a Penn State fan.
Right, you're a
I
Pitt
hate
fan. You always-
Ohio State just as much. And
something
Alabama,
at least we agree
I
on
can't
this
stand them. I am a Pitt fan.
You always have been.
Hey,
a
here's
Pitt
what
fan.
Pitt does to you. They play Ball State and they lose.
Yeah.
You know, they go to Miami and they win.
Yeah.
So you don't know what kind of Pitt team you're going to get. And like I said, until I see a level recruiting class and some kind of stability there, it's been how many coaches they've had in the last 5-6 years.
Narduzzi, you like him?
I like them. I do like them.
I
And
like 'em too.
I think they have a good program there, and I think they can recruit some decent
Why don't
talent.
they give him time to?
Well, he's
build
going to
the
stay
program?
as long as he wants to. from what I
Right,
hear.
but
They
them
like
going to the ACC and playing, I mean, I'm sorry, they're not going to do well.
him. Yeah.
They're going to do decent. So
As a Wake Forest alumni, like I live the ACC football thing, and Pitt has the benefit of being in the Coastal. The
Right.
Coastal is the conference where it's always flip a coin for every game.
right.
It's just Nobody's really opened
and
up
then that one
because
against-
Miami's been down, Virginia
Right.
Tech's been down, and Pitt made the conference championship last
So I
year.
mean, and that one gets to play Clemson.
Right, and nobody even.
I mean, Clemson's already locked in. Clemson's
yeah.
got that.
Oh,
Clemson's
yeah.
got that game on their schedule.
Wasn't it
already.
hilarious? So Pitt fans didn't even know they were in this conference
I know,
championship.
right?
Yeah.
You're right.
People say you go watch big game in the conference championship. I'm like, nah, I got glass to
But
go.
I mean, the other thing too, though,
It
is
didn't
that
matter.
And they had the ACC network this year.
they do.
Watch.
Then so everybody's getting more money, so that's nice. But really though, like you look at Clemson, it's like, oh, they don't really play anybody because the ACC is kind of down. But Clemson's a juggernaut. Clemson, they
Yes.
showed it in the national championship.
Yes.
Clemson is I think they're better on paper than Bama again.
Yes,
this
I do
year.
too.
I do too.
I think
watched
if
Clemson's-
you
I've
had
watched
to
them since
pick
I
head to
could
head, I would probably take Clemson's team over Bama.
Like their color
I'm a
scheme,
Bama fan,
orange.
but I picked Clemson.
Apparently, this
At
Trevor,
least this year.
this
At least
Trevor
this year.
Lawrence is apparently the best thing since Andrew
He's
Luck.
up there. He's
Yeah,
incredible.
but how many mop-up games do we have to get through before we start seeing some really good games? I mean, isn't Alabama playing Duke? Or who are they playing this week? Duke? Yeah, that's a shame.
And Duke lost their
It's
quarterback.
just
so
that-
And
they're
they signed up Duke
Come
Come on,
perfectly.
you know they always do that. The
I know.
first-
Who's Appalachian State going to lose to this week? That's pretty much,
They
Took
could beat
Penn State
Michigan.
to
They beat
overtime.
Michigan.
They beat
They
Michigan.
beat
in a
Michigan.
rare move, yeah.
That was nice. All right,
So-
guys, let's go to the pros, and we got to talk about the shocking news from the other day. Andrew Luck decides he had enough of wear and tear on his body, announced that he's retiring from the NFL. Then he gets booed in his own stadium. Are
Kinda
you
ignorant,
kidding
isn't
me? That's terrible.
Very ignorant.
Uh,
Whoever was in the front office that leaked that information needs fired.
Yes.
They need fired.
I
Do not
agree.
expose the person publicly or whatever. Fire that person. That was unfair to Andrew and to the fans.
Now that's an angle that hasn't been mentioned amidst all of the.
Yeah. That's
That's
true.
all of
disgusting
the,
who leaked that.
outrage
Whoever leaked
here.
that. Yeah, that's to me is
you're
one
right
of the
about
biggest parts of the outrage.
Yeah.
There's no outrage of him quitting. I don't blame him.
No, I mean he didn't want to, but
I mean, it's
his
the
body
Colts.
can't take it.
It's like he's quitting the Steelers.
Yeah.
It's the Colts.
No, come. Oh boy.
I mean,
But-
Jacoby Brissett's like the second coming of Bubby Brister now. People are saying that they can actually make a playoff run with.
So anyway,
Go ahead,
I
sorry.
thought Andrew
Hang on
Luck
with that.
handled it with class. I have a lot of respect for the young man. He didn't want to retire. His body just gave out.
His
Let's be
coach,
honest.
his coach himself said it was the courageous and honorable thing to do. So
And
I'll
the owner stood by him, the GM, and the owner is not going to get the money. It came out that Andrew Luck
Gonna
gets
keep
paid.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say it's easy to be honorable and courageous when you've already amassed $100 million in
No, but I
in
mean,
earnings.
these-
But
But so many players.
as,
No, but I
Yes.
think you're going to see more of this in the NFL. People are going to leave the game early because of concussions and disability injuries.
Sure,
and
we've
so
seen
forth.
it. Robert Smith from Minnesota years ago quit. I mean, Barry Sanders.
Doug
I mean,
Baldwin from the
Doug Baldwin.
Tim
yeah.
Green.
Gronkowski.
Tim Green, they just had a special on CBS, has LS.
Yeah.
Great defensive back for the Falcons. Brilliant kid. He wrote like 7 books. He just finished his last book or in the process of. And I asked him, I said, if you had to do it over again, would you play as long as you said, I can't help it, I love the game.
Gronk just came out and was saying that he's glad he retired because football was ruining his life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was dragging me down. He said,
Yeah, that's what he said.
Andrew
Yeah.
Luck did warn them too a couple years ago. He
Yep.
said when I had to
Yep.
sit the entire season,
That's right.
rehab the entire season, it's like I'm never doing that again.
No.
And he was on that path this time, and he's like, I'm done. I told you I'm
Yeah.
done. And I'm
But
gonna be done.
they were ready, as Lon said. They filled his position. They went out and got a first-class quarterback backing him up. So, so I mean,
It changes the whole dynamic of that division.
but
now. I mean,
what Jordan just says, some of the blame is on the Colts too. Andrew Luck told them 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and they don't go out and get somebody behind them. That's their problem.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, guys, let's go right to it. Let's go first to where AFC North. Local
Go right,
teams.
right into the big stuff.
Yeah, might as well, and start with Bill because what we're hearing from the experts and everybody that's writing for the magazines is they got the Browns going right to the Super Bowl because they got
I will commend to your
Yeah.
viewers the
Browns are back.
NFL preview
There you go.
edition of Sports Illustrated,
A lot of talent there. So
graced by OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Juice.
yeah, and since you're a Browns fan, Baker Mayfield has a problem with the Giants for some reason. Now he's criticizing them picking Jones. I'm like, what are you doing? Shut up and play
Taken
football.
out of context.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'd think Baker would have better things to do than
Yeah.
comment on
That's what I'm thinking.
Poor guy out of Duke.
And I like Baker, but here's my thing: win first.
I've been a big fan of Baker.
Yeah, me too.
I like the cut of his jib. I like the way he's handling himself. He's a fun guy.
He's a fun guy and had a little bit of chip on his shoulder.
Right,
Cleveland
I like
we
needs
need that. We
Yeah.
need that in the
So,
city of Cleveland.
What do you think about the Brownies this year?
I have them going 11-5, and I think they're going to win the division. I think they've got
I'm sorry.
really.
Well, I'm just hugging Ed. That's all.
You can make an argument that they've got solid, if not spectacular, talent at every position group,
Offensively and defensively.
offensively and
Who's their
defensively.
D coordinator now?
Their defense coordinator is Steve Wilkes, who was the head coach last year for the Arizona Cardinals. At 1 year.
Right?
We see
One
where
and done.
Arizona went, right?
That was a nightmare.
But
I wonder how their defense was.
But he was a good D coordinator before that.
they brought in a lot of talent in a lot of different places and upgraded their positions. But in my view, the most important person they brought in is Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah.
As the head coach, he's got
I agree.
a meteoric rise. He was at a Division III school not that long ago.
Well, they didn't have one for 3 years, so it's good they got somebody in there.
I think so far he's shown the temperament and the ability to maybe control the personalities on the team. That's what most of the commentators
And-
Got to be able to do
They
that.
got the talent,
got a
but
ton of
does it
personality.
translate into performance on the field?
Odell Beckham get comeback player of the year?
Plays more than 8 games.
He or Le'Veon Bell probably, yeah.
Well, I'm serious about Odell. I mean, he's a talent.
I don't see how Le'Veon could win it. I mean, he said on his own accord. so-
I know that.
Yeah, no, it's
Kind
not
of a
like
joke.
It's not like he was injured and sat out.
He's injured in the head.
We'll get to him down the road, guys. He's on my team.
So you're taking the Browns to win the division?
You say that in a querulous tone there.
Yes, I do. No, not querulous. No.
The only thing I see in it is Washington did the same thing with Dante Culpepper, put all them superstars on there, and they didn't do anything.
No, the Minnesota.
But, no.
Washington never.
Oh, that's right. It was Minnesota. I'm sorry. But then you have, they could end up just like Pittsburgh did with Brown and Bell and all this drama, because you never know. They could sit there and say they're all buddy.
Well,
But if he's not getting the
That's
touches,
why I think the head coach and his demeanor is
Odell,
going to be the.
Odell,
Freddie Kitchens still has to prove it.
Odell is set.
But I
Odell-
love Cleveland's defense.
Beckham
Yes, I
started
do.
practicing just recently again because he was hurt, and he came out and said he expects 15 touches a game. So there you go already.
Yeah, they renamed the stadium there in Cleveland. It's called the Once Daily Cialis Stadium. Like, if your excitement lasts more than 4 games, contact your doctor. Because let me tell you,
Yeah.
this is a team that is in good shape to win games. Until it actually wins games, it's Once Daily Cialis. It's artificial stimulation. So until they're holding hands in the bathtub and they're actually doing it, then I'll believe it. I think the Browns could win 9 games this year, grab a wild card spot. 11 games, 11-5 is so lofty. Pittsburgh Steelers are looking good. They took care of what they needed to take care of in that locker room.
So you're picking them to win that division?
Absolutely.
I got Pittsburgh to win a division, but Cleveland, but it could go either way with those two. And I'll be honest, but I don't see them winning 11 games.
There's a team
I
that
think they're
everybody
gonna
I'm
be-
here to
not
make
talking
outrageous
about.
statements. That's my role here.
And-
It's
and-
gonna
and
go
I actually
between
think
those two,
The
honestly.
AFC
Yeah,
North is
you're
kind of fun because there's this team
The
that,
Ravens.
that
Yeah.
won the division last year. That's
Lamar
probably
Jackson,
just as
quarterback.
good. Their quarterback's probably only going to get better.
I
because
don't buy off of
He
Lamar
wasn't. I mean,
Jackson.
he
I
wasn't.
do.
I mean, he was a rookie.
How
last
far do
year.
scrambling quarterbacks go, though?
How about-
He's.
Oh,
I think. I
exactly.
personally think he's a little bit more than that. I've
Little
seen him.
Robert
I've seen him a
Griffin,
lot.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I've seen him
Mayfield
play a lot.
scrambles.
I mean,
Not
No,
like
he
these
scrambles to
Not like
pass.
these guys.
I mean, they also have a Super Bowl winning coach. Baltimore is always that team. I mean, Steelers fans should know. Like Baltimore's that team that you guys play them.
But
what,
they lost
13
Suggs
to
now
10?
too. You're
I
losing
mean,
your
Suggs
you're
was
losing
like
your
50
captain on
years
defense.
old.
We
But
hate,
it doesn't
we
matter.
hate
You're still
Baltimore
losing.
more than anything, though.
I understand,
No,
but that's.
no.
I
You
think.
guys hate the most of the
I think
You
it's a
got
three.
Ingram as a
I just
running
think
back now?
he's better than their running back they had before.
Yeah.
I think there's a 3-team race. I think it's really close between those 3 teams.
You could have a 3-team playoff there,
Yeah.
too.
You know who's gonna
You could.
It's happened before.
One of these two
with the
teams
Colts
is gonna
gone.
You know who
Yes.
decides the division is the Bengals. Who doesn't beat the Bengals twice?
Everybody
Not
beats
win
the
that-
Bengals
But who
twice.
doesn't beat the Bengals twice in that division?
No
Probably will
AJ
not
Green
win.
for a while, right?
No, but I'm saying if you don't beat
Is he gonna get
Cincinnati
hurt again?
twice,
Yeah,
you will not
they're-
win that division.
Yeah,
because the
they're,
other
they're
three
really
teams-
on the outside looking in there.
And what about the schedule? Didn't the NFL tweak the
Strength-
schedule with the
strength of
Steelers?
schedule.
No, but I mean the Steelers play the Browns twice within 3 weeks.
Within 3 weeks.
That's wild.
Right, but strength of schedule wise, though, Steelers have a decent strength of schedule.
After the first week.
Yes.
Go to New England.
But it's, you
Wait
know,
until Kareem Hunt comes back after week 10.
but you know, that's the best strength of schedule? New England.
Yeah, I
They have
know.
the easiest
Right?
schedule.
They
Yeah.
always-
How does
They
that
have
happen?
for the
I don't know,
last
how
15
does it-
years.
Well,
How does it? How does it?
Well,
Where are the problems?
Well, let me tell you
Our
one
teams
thing.
are the problem.
That's right. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's right. The AFC East, the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins are terrible. So they got 6 wins already.
They,
Yeah,
they
right
start
there.
6-0.
They start 6-0.
I actually
But then
placed
you got
Bill. I
Miami on
actually-
top of it.
Yeah. I picked the Bills to actually grab a wild card in my
Wow.
preview last
Wow.
week. I like what I
That's
see.
smart. I think that.
I like
agree
some
with
of the
this.
dynamics that are going on there. You've got some young zest that's happening in Buffalo, and I've seen that flavor up there.
I don't
before.
They might have
I don't see it,
they
though.
might have the best defense in the NFL.
They have a great.
They have a very.
defense.
They brought in a lot of offensive line help, but it's not showing yet. They've got to protect Josh
Right,
Allen.
they've been dealing with some off-season injuries. They're still trying to mix and match everything.
Well-
but I think once they get it done, and they have a stable of running backs now.
Right.
Devin Singletary's a stud rookie. Frank Gore is a great pickup. He had 700 yards on the Dolphins last
Gore
year.
is a-
700
What are
yards
you
on the
gonna do?
Dolphins last
He
year.
ain't doing
Oh, hey,
nothing
Sonny
in
McCoy.
Buffalo.
And LaShawn McCoy. Don't forget about
Wait
LaShawn
a minute.
McCoy.
Wait a minute. Somebody was saying, I
Frank
saw
Gore.
in the news that Houston might try to trade Clowney for McCoy.
I would do that. I would do that.
Well,
right
there
now.
goes your running back.
Houston be
Then we have two
crazy to
others.
do that.
Yeah, Clowney's
I
on
don't
the
have
trade
faith
block
in Frank Gore.
for some
And
reason.
we got a rookie.
They need to trade Clowney in that contract, but to trade him for McCoy, they're just they're just taking away their money.
All right, well, let's go
So-
back to the AFC North. So, I got the Browns winning at Steelers wild card. You have the Browns
winning it. Steelers wild
wild
card.
card.
I have Ravens winning at Steelers wildcard.
Ooh.
Steelers,
What?
Browns.
Jordan.
Steelers,
Steelers
Browns.
Browns.
Steelers Browns.
Steelers Browns. Okay, now
Cleveland's
let's
gotta
go.
do something.
It's
We
not
touched
a-
on the
it's not an
AFC
unsafe pick.
East, the dynamic division. So let's go to AFCs. The Patriots and Brady win it again. What a surprise! I think my team is going to surprise people and win 7 games.
I got them winning 8.
Jets.
Win, surprise people win 7 games.
That's a good year for the Jets.
No, I think 7. I think 7. I think they
It's a good
could.
year.
They could get
The only question I have about my team and my I don't know what you want to say.
Well, they got
program.
4 wins between Miami and Buffalo.
But here's the thing. But I don't understand one thing.
You don't
about
like
the
Buffalo, do you?
Jets. The Jets, to me, when they do coaches searches, they baffle me. They go out and get the guy that was fired from the Dolphins.
That guy stinks. I think their coach is terrible.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
That's
think
who their
I think
coach
he's
is.
bad.
Must be
I
one
think-
hell of an interviewer, though.
No.
Must be.
Now I think Darnold is
He's
very
good.
good.
He's the real
very
deal.
good. Yeah.
And I think Le'Veon Bell's gonna have a nice year.
I do too.
Right. So I think the Jets will be, but I think
Ooh.
they got to really
You really
think about.
And I do.
They got to think about. They got to
I
think
just
about their
love the ball.
coaching
And I
choice because I
and
think he's going
I
to cost
do.
them games.
And I think their
Right.
defense coordinator is great. He's the guy that got from the Browns.
Greg,
Greg
Greg's
Williams.
awesome.
But you guys don't know what doesn't Le'Veon Bell have?
Yeah, well, that too. But
You know,
still,
he
he
doesn't
doesn't
have
have
that
he
offensive
also don't have
line.
receivers.
He doesn't
around
have
him
Big
either.
Ben.
Yeah,
He doesn't have
Sam
receivers.
He's
Big
got
Ben.
he's got a lot to prove this
Big
year.
Ben
though.
made
He's-
Le'Veon Bell
Is Crowder with them now?
so much
Yes.
better.
Crowder, yeah.
You know what made Le'Veon Bell
But he
so
still
much
doesn't
better?
have anybody, so they're just going to crowd the
Pouncey and the
block.
rest of the offensive line. That's what you get the best center in football playing for the
You
Steelers. Period.
for Le'Veon Bell, you need a quarterback who's with you in that program and that system to
But
make
you also
you
need
better.
receivers too.
Exactly.
It takes the pressure off.
I think
inside the
Le'Veon Bell is
ball.
a great running back.
But when
And
you're behind the offensive line that Pittsburgh's had, just like Dallas and Zeke, you can run anywhere.
Just
we've
like you
seen
said,
it with
look,
James
can't-
Conner.
can't
James
I-
Conner's a good quarterback, but he
can't-
also has a good offensive line.
Can't
load
I
the
have-
box on him.
Can't I have a little hope before? I'm a Jet fan. We need a little thing to throw.
Look at the
out,
hat you're
guys.
wearing. We don't want you to
Sure.
have
I mean, I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna take away. He's probably gonna get 1,200 yards.
That's good.
You know, probably 500 in the air. I mean, they're not gonna have much of an option. I mean,
You know
who's
what,
not
though?
gonna-
For the
who's
Jets-
they gonna give the ball to? The punter?
What about that fast water?
And then you know what's
Yeah,
amazing about that
exactly.
though? What's amazing about that is that's why he has not touched the ball in preseason. They said because they don't want to get him tired before the regular season. He has to run the ball in the year. And they don't want to. Yeah, that's what Adam Gates says. We don't want to.
Yeah, nothing like a good conditioning program that doesn't allow you to condition.
Hey, can I vent on one thing about the AFC East?
Sure.
Yeah, go right ahead.
The easiest target to vent about is the New England Patriots, right?
Mm.
So look at Josh Gordon. The Browns drafted this guy. They babied him.
Wait a minute.
They babysat
Don't
him.
go there. When your team is going to play Kareem Hunt,
No, wait a second. That's not the point.
come on, don't be
The
picking
point
on
of
New
the matter
England.
is that they babysat that guy and hoped that he would develop into a person and a man. He went on suspensions, and every time he applied for reinstatement, it was months.
Right.
And then he'd get reinstated with an 8-game suspension. Okay?
Right.
So then he goes to New England and plays, and then he goes into rehab again.
Right.
And he needs to be reinstated. What happens? immediately reinstated, ready for game one.
Well, it's kind of funny when
You would think that the penalties would get more
The
severe.
funniest part about it is that Patriots fans think the league is out to get them.
Ugh.
That's the
Well, he
funniest
came into
part.
training camp.
I'm sorry.
Getting out of his car, it was like a fast times at Ridgemont High.
I know. Josh Gordon. The NFL is better with Josh Gordon in it. He is an exciting
He's
player.
good. Yeah.
He's really
Oh,
good.
I mean, in New England, they're laughing all the way to the bank having Josh Gordon on
Yeah,
the
they
field.
are, and they.
No doubt. Okay, AFC West. I got the Broncos winning it because I believe in Joe Flacco up there.
Wow.
And their backup. He's a nice young quarterback. And I also got the Chiefs, the wild
I've
card.
never heard those words uttered in my life. I believe in Joe Flacco.
I
I got the
Ravens
Chiefs.
didn't
Chiefs is
believe
wild
in
card.
Flacco.
And I got the Raiders coming in last because I think AB is going to bring them down. He's already causing problems.
That's a
up there.
dumpster fire.
I got Chiefs, and then Chargers still
Okay.
carrying up
That's
the wild
right.
card.
That's what I have.
That's what I got. I
See,
got.
that's my.
Hey, we agree on something.
I got Drew Lock taking over in mid-season for Flacco.
I think Denver's going to be a competitive team. Like their
Yeah.
defense is really, really good, and Flacco is like the prototype game manager.
You're going-
He's the
you
guy
know-
that's like he's not going to lose you anything.
Right.
But when you're playing against Pat Mahomes, you need a quarterback that can win you something.
I think he's going to equal last year's
Sophomore
performance.
slump? Pat
No.
Mahomes.
He's a
So what's gonna happen
third-year
with Gordon?
player. Sophomore slump was 50 touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
That Gordon is.
Junior slump.
He's
Yeah, I'm
either-
not going to drop him to the third round because I think he's only going to get 45 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You talking about Melvin Gordon?
Yeah.
He was hurt already even before he was holding out. So I don't. I
Yeah,
think
Melvin Gordon's going down.
I
the
think
wrong,
he's a distraction, and I think he's.
You
a
think he
problem.
is?
Yeah.
Him thinking that he's one of the
But
best
still,
running backs
his,
in the
what's
league
his
is
backup
ridiculous.
again?
I know. Who's he think he is?
So you got for the AFC
Barry
West.
Foster? I mean,
I've
come
got
on.
Kansas City at 12-4, and the Chargers at 10-6.
AFC West.
AFC West, I have Chiefs at like 13-3, Chargers at 10-6.
Wow. One.
I got the Chargers probably backing into a wild card spot, but I do got the Chiefs up the top, probably winning the
Look at it.
first
All
or
four of
second.
us agree. You're out.
You know, first or second seed.
Broncos, man.
Denver a steady 7-9.
I still
you got?
I got Chiefs winning it, the division, and the Chargers are the wild card.
And we all got the Patriots and nothing else coming out.
Right.
I have
the Bills going wild card.
going wild card.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah. so
Okay,
do I.
well, this is why I don't have the Bills going wild card because I'm looking at the AFC South. And
Colts are dead.
They're not even allowed to win a division there.
Jaguars are going to win that conference.
I
I
like
agree
that
with
pick.
you.
I like
agree.
that pick.
With
yeah.
Nick Foles now,
Nick
he's still got
Foles,
a good
Tom
run
Hawkins.
game.
Still
Tennessee
around,
looks
and
so
they're-
awful. Their first team against Steelers' first team
Yeah.
looks so awful.
Terrible.
And I'm like, Mariota, I'm like, who is this team? And nobody even can figure out the Tennessee Titans. They wear like men's softball uniforms. I mean,
You
change
know, like
the
the white
name.
with the light blue.
Get a football look on the field.
No,
I think
Lamar-
they look like an
Lamar-
arena football team.
Lamar
They-
exactly. Look at
Hey,
their-
whoa. I used to coach.
They're fighting
They
words.
won 9 games last year, Lon.
I know they win not, but you never can predict what the Tennessee Titans are going to be when they
Hey,
get out.
They
there.
have a good defense. They have a very
They
good
have a
defense.
very good defense. I have
Yeah.
them winning
Their
the
rookie
division,
quarterback
so-
looks better than Mariota.
No, any love to the
preseason.
Texans?
I think the Texans are destined for disappointment.
Yes.
I don't like a team that
There's no
fires
Miller.
I don't like a team that fires their GM before the season starts,
Yep.
and then their head coach has to do all the maintenance of the
What is
roster.
that about?
I think it's just
Man,
I think
because
it's
he
just
didn't
a
want to trade
strange thing.
Clowney?
I think it was something to do with Clowney,
Yeah.
maybe with the contract. They didn't like what he was doing with that, but yeah, I think the Texans are destined for. They didn't really address the offensive line. Their offensive line is still bad. I think they're going to be good, but I think I would pick Jacksonville because Jacksonville fixed the one problem
Yeah,
they really
Jacksonville's
had.
tough team.
They had the worst quarterback in the
Their
NFL.
defense
Now
is
they
solid.
have
Nick
a
Foles.
at least an average starter, possibly an above average.
They got a guy the Eagles are going to miss. Who goes from the AFC to the Super Bowl, guys? I got the Patriots. Until
I'm
somebody
thinking
can-
Jacksonville. 'cause
Until
their
someone
defense-
tells me that
That's
they're
what
not
I'm
going to make
thinking
it, I'm gonna pick
Patriots.
the
I'm
Patriots.
actually at Patriots Jacksonville.
I got
in the
Cleveland
finals.
versus Kansas City. In the
Cleveland, he's got him going to see. He's drinking the Kool-Aid. He's drinking that Kool-Aid.
Brought to you
right
by
now.
Once Daily Cialis.
I mean, who was the? I'm just trying to think of like who.
You know,
was the,
I will say this though.
who's
I remember
gone from
about
that
6
level?
years ago. Okay. Everybody gave the Jets all this love. They're on Sports Illustrated. Jets are going to Super Bowls, and they won 4 games.
Yep.
That's going to happen to your team.
But I have.
I just
Kansas
hope
City.
they can gel together.
I like what the Jacksonville Jaguars are only one season off. Last year, I've been watching some of the interviews and some of the team meetings and things have been going on with Jacksonville. It's not that they're saying the right things during the interviews. They are, but they're saying things that seem like they're from the heart. Like, man, we screwed up. I mean, this is They are so much better
I
than what
love
they
their
were last
defense. That's what I like.
Line-
And Fournette can
Who's
run
the guy
the
that
ball.
went there about 3 years ago when he got let go from the Giants, turned that program around? He's not coaching, but he has a lot to do with
Tom
that program.
Coughlin.
Coughlin,
And
yeah.
you love him.
And I've been a big
Right?
fan
Yeah.
of the Colonel and
Yeah, look how tough Jacksonville is now that he showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're tough.
Tom Coughlin is the kind of guy. If you got kids running around your locker room, bring in Tom Coughlin, and you'll have men at the end of the season.
Exactly.
Because
You're
last
exactly.
year, I mean, what happened down there?
Michael Strahan
You know.
said he owes it all to Cochran taking over the Giants because he taught me about life.
Yeah.
You know, he taught me to grow up. And like I said, he taught me to grow up because he would get to practice a minute before it started, and he'd get fined. And he goes, "I'm not late." He goes, "My watch, you're late. You got to get
And
found
that
out. You got to
is
get
the
there
way
10
it
minutes
is
early."
on practice in the fields. Like I was talking to Coach Sam Rutigliano about 5-6 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer than that. And he was up in town, and he was talking about being on the practice field with the Browns, and one of the wide receivers stubbed his toe on a water sprinkler and cut his toe. The guy wasn't even wearing shoes, he said. He says, who the hell is coaching his team? He said, this is like clowns out here.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, you know,
That's
he
the
said,
guy
that's
the
why
last
they
3
won't
years.
win.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
you know, talk about clowns. Let's not skim over AB showing up the Raider camp in a hot air balloon. Did you guys see that? I mean,
He's
said
full of
quiet.
hot air. What do you
I
expect?
mean, but what are you doing? I mean, you're getting a second chance, and you show up at camp in a hot air balloon with your feet fried from some genesthetic thing they didn't
But
wear
you know
shoes.
what? He did the right thing. Think about it. This boy's getting paid with a new helmet.
He's getting.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did this all on purpose. Just to, he's getting
You
some
know-
endorsements. I'm telling
No,
you.
but you know what he needs?
He's going to get a bit Prozac. That'll be his endorsement.
Antonio Brown crazed attention with all these annex this year. You know what it proved? Roethlisberger was right. It wasn't Roethlisberger, it was Brown.
Ben stepped over the line with his radio interview, and
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I
But I'm
agree.
a fan of Big Ben, and you know, people say, I said, what does he need to do? Buy deli and lunch meats for his wide receivers, go out and play go? No, you're professionals.
Just before
But what he said though was stepped over the line. But what he's come around,
Not doing a radio show anymore, I hear.
No, he's quit that.
That's
He's come
smart.
back around to saying, okay,
Yeah.
that was kind of dumb.
It
when
was,
Ben sat there and said he shouldn't have called AB out, and AB just said, just shut up already. And he's still going at it. He
Right.
Well, it's going to be nice for Ben because when he goes into the huddle this year, nobody's going to say, I want the ball, I want the ball.
Look at
I
this
want
Nate Washington.
There,
kid
I mean,
again
there is
this
something
year.
about like
No.
Antonio Brown is still a tremendous talent.
He is.
Oh, he
No
is.
doubt.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
no doubt.
Like,
yeah.
I wonder what his
One of the
dad
best
Eddie's doing
receivers in
right
the
now.
Like I think
You
the
know,
Raiders,
bet
I think
he's
the
mad.
Raiders will still be better than what they were last year. But
Derek
like,
Carr-
they still have a lot to work
Can
on.
Derek Carr get him the ball?
No.
I mean,
That's
he,
the question.
He
No.
can. He's okay.
I
But,
think.
like,
I think he'll get more touches than he ever got in Pittsburgh.
He's like a Brett Boyd.
I think
I mean,
Antonio Brown's going to do
That's-
great.
and
Blake
how will
Bortles.
I
John,
think he's a little better than
and
that.
how will-
better than Blake
I don't know
Bortles.
about that.
and how will John
Carr
Gruden,
sucks.
when he was at ESPN, he coached every game and it was a lot easier from the booth. How's he going to do this year?
Maybe a little better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
John Gruden was annoying on Monday Night Football.
So let's go to.
Like
They're in the Tampa 2 right now, and
Yeah,
got a 2
yeah,
split wide.
yeah.
I'm like, what? I need to know this. This is nerd talk.
So
Sorry,
since we
He
talked
never
about
said one thing bad about a player on Monday.
since we talked about
he was always praising everybody.
Since we're talking
Everybody was the best player in the world
since we're talking about Gruden, let's go to the NFC East where his brother coaches the Redskins and
for now.
And you know, they drafted, everybody felt, from Ohio State, the quarterback to draft. The Giants said, no, we're going for Jones. And after the first 3 weeks of preseason, the quote experts on the NFL Network, a couple of them came out the other day and said, you know, we blasted the Giants. We made a mistake. This kid Jones is going to be a player.
Well, Jones is the only person whiter than I am, first of all. Let's get that straight. I mean, this guy, I'm telling you, you take a Peyton Manning and whitewash him, and you get Jones. I mean, this guy is square peg.
From Duke.
But you know what, though? They had their reasons to take him.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of film, a little research on him, whatever. I still don't know if I take him. You know,
So a couple of experts in the NFL Network said that they watched Jones at first, and they said, you know, he is the real deal. He's going to be really good.
well,
And he was coached by the Duke head coach that was actually the assistant quarterback coach when Eli went to Mississippi.
well,
There's some history there.
they had some reasons. They have some history there.
Yeah.
It's an interesting move.
Giants going to be any good this year, guys?
No.
No.
I think Eli will.
Eli's last year in New York.
Saquon Barkley's going to be good.
Eli-
this year.
Last
I
year.
think Eli will. I think they're gonna pull the plug on Eli by around week 8. I think Daniel Jones is like he's like a clone of Eli Manning. He literally looks like they cloned him, and is just like the more youthful Eli Manning.
Got a good arm.
So I mean, they could. I mean, he could do something. I mean, I am a Bills fan, so I'm a Josh Allen guy. Josh Allen's like the same thing as Daniel Jones. Just immediately everyone disregarded him.
Right.
He's garbage. He's
Well,
trash.
he's not bad. He's behind Bradford, but he's not bad.
I mean, yeah, it's just like I don't think like the draft experts necessarily know everything. And
No.
yeah, I would say the Giants.
Redskins going to do
Not-
anything this year, guys?
Yeah, they're going to start Dwayne Haskins.
No, he didn't get the first week. They announced it.
They
get
actually
there
announced that Case Keenum,
Right.
and they did this with a straight face,
Right.
was
Case
going to be
Keenum,
their
yeah.
starting quarterback.
Right, I like that.
Well, that's not going to last.
I hope it lasts through the Giant game.
Yeah, I think
like it,
they're
yeah.
probably about a 3-win team.
Yeah.
I'll take
Guys,
2 horse
Ezekiel
race.
Elliott, as we filmed, said he's not coming in unless he gets his money. He might be pulling Le'Veon Bell.
I like
Cowboys go
Philadelphia.
anywhere?
I like
Cowboys go
Philadelphia
anywhere
by
without
default.
Ezekiel Elliott? Do the Cowboys go anywhere without
No.
him?
Not without him, but I think that
He still will
they're
compete.
gonna get it done.
You
They're
think,
gonna-
you think
yeah.
he's got a good offensive line?
We'll play the first week though.
He is Jerry Jones's favorite player. They're just talking right now. I think they'll get that.
They
done.
have an offer on the table that's second highest among
Yeah, and
running
I think
backs.
they'll
And that's it.
eventually move it up.
That's not
they'll,
good enough,
They'll move it up a
apparently.
little bit.
So-
Well, I think he's the best running back in the league.
What do we think about these guys?
I
though,
do
that
too, but
Have a contract
I
and
don't.
they say,
I think
I'm not.
Saquon Barkley and
Yeah.
is the best
What
running
about
back
these
in the
guys
league.
though, Lon and everybody else in it that have a contract and then they say, I'm not going to play because I want more money. What happened to honoring your contract? I mean, is that no?
The players nowadays want to run the
What do we-
league instead of
How-
letting.
what are we? A year or 2 years off from the CBA being renegotiated.
Right.
Some of these guys are going to have to hit the sweet spot to get into that new CBA. So a lot of them don't want to sign that's going to carry them over into that.
Okay.
So I mean, that's what you got to keep in mind. If this CBA does not go well for the players, it's going to end football as we know it.
Well, they said they're ready to go out again.
Their last
Right.
CBA was awful.
Yeah, they said that they will strike if it's not a good one
Yeah.
this time. They'll go out. And that new league starting, so who knows?
The XFL.
Yeah.
That's right. Vince McMahon.
And by the
WWE.
way,
Who was the first pick?
Who?
Do you remember?
I don't know.
when this year? They didn't have it yet.
It was Landry Jones.
They didn't have the pick.
Well, he picked somebody.
But here our Trell Foster has it. They invited him to.
I saw him up at the fair, and he
Try
was
out.
saying that he got
Yeah.
a letter or an
Yep.
email saying that they want him to try out and
Yes.
everything.
Of course, a lot of the
What
guys,
is there, like 6 teams or 4
I
teams?
think, but a lot of the guys are going to come from that league that disbanded after 1 month.
Yeah, they're still running.
That lasted real
They're still
long.
sitting in the parking lot on their dots and waiting for the paycheck.
All right, so guys, what you're saying then? Everybody agrees with the Eagles.
Eagles will
I got
win.
the Eagles.
I think Dallas gets a wild card.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I had too.
I think
So
Zeke
do
will
I.
come back and then they'll be
I
good
doubt
again.
Dallas getting a wild card. How what kind of a year is that young kid going to have for the Eagles, a quarterback?
A healthy one, we all hope.
And if
Yeah.
he
For his
doesn't,
sake.
who's their backup? Didn't they just pick somebody?
They
else?
they
have
picked up-
Nate Sudfeld, who is
And didn't they
They just picked up Jake McCown.
Josh
Yeah.
McCown.
Josh McCown
He's
is
a good
brought him out of
guy.
retirement.
He's going to be the backup until I think they like Sudfeld a little bit more, but he got hurt. So I think that they're bringing McCown in to fill the void for now.
So does the Eagle quarterback play the whole year? I mean, he's getting hurt the last 2 years.
They have a good old line.
He's got a history.
They got a great O line. Yep.
Okay, so they're going to win the East. Let's go.
Yeah,
to
I don't have.
Let's go to the North, and I think the team this year is going to be the Bears.
I agree.
I have the Bears taking a big step back.
Wow.
I think they take a little step back.
I don't think their defense really. I mean,
Really?
there was all kinds of gaudy statistics last year. I just
Who do you
don't.
like?
I like the Minnesota to return to the form they had 2 years ago.
I don't see that.
I got Chicago then.
I
the
see
Bears.
Kirk Cousins actually coming into
Kirk
his own.
Cousins. Yeah.
I have Matt Patricia taking up the Detroit
Wow.
Lions and moving into a wild card spot.
Nice.
They looked,
That's right,
They
I got the
looked
Bears.
ugly.
They're
Friday.
they're going to be moving into that wild card spot. Mark my words. The end of this year, and I want hugs from all of you.
Detroit, you say?
Yeah, I got Detroit going to a
I
wild
think
card.
Matt
What happened to
You got the Bears
Matt-
winning the division or Minnesota?
I got Chicago winning the
I got
Me too.
Chicago and Minnesota at the wild card.
What happened to one of the best quarterbacks of all time? What happened to Aaron Rodgers? What happened to the Packers?
He's not the best of all. One of the best.
No, he is one of the best of all time.
No.
I just think Aaron Rodgers with a new coach, and he's hurting. His shoulder hurts already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the
Talk about not
Packers
having an offensive
He's
line.
more worried about Danica
They
and
prob-
his mustache than.
they probably won't make it. I still think the Bears are the best team, and I think Packers are better than Minnesota.
I think Aaron Rodgers is 2 years away from leaving the game.
Maybe.
Really, because he looks at that team and they got nothing. He's gonna get battered.
They haven't
they're
had,
gonna
they haven't had
finish last
anything
in that.
right.
his
I
entire
think they're going to
career.
finish last in the.
They have a
in
good
the
chance
NFC
to.
North.
NFC South. You got the Saints,
This
the
is a
Panthers,
really good
the
division.
Buccaneers,
The fun
the
division.
Falcons. I got the Saints winning it this year.
So do I.
So
Then
do
I
I.
got Panthers at the wild card.
And if anybody got messed on last year in the playoffs, it was the Saints.
Yeah,
That
they
call
probably could have been
It
Super
was
Bowl
never
champions.
called. Are you kidding me? How do you miss that call? That was terrible.
Vegas.
But not only that, but it also ruined the NFL for this season because
Yeah.
now we have that challenge.
That's a terrible.
It's
That's a
insane.
terrible
It's the-
overreaction,
it's
don't you
the-
think?
It is
No.
the
No.
biggest
You
overreaction.
That was
that?
the worst call I ever seen in my life.
Right,
in a
but
pro-
isn't this?
professional game.
But do you want every single pass interference reviewed?
I
Yeah.
know.
I think it's going to be unbearable.
I think the game's only 6.5 hours long.
I think they'll
I
rescind
think
that
it's something.
rule.
They gotta start 'em at
super
10.
Should be pass
We'll get our
interference.
money's worth.
First of all, there's no such thing as pass interference anymore.
No.
Because the defensive backs, if they breathe on a receiver, they get a flag.
Yeah.
I don't know how you play defensive back anymore.
Well, they let them hand check each other. I mean, but then again, at that speed and at that, for fans to get that upset, yes, that New Orleans call
That was a
bad.
bad call.
But your run-of-the-mill bad calls that people
Exactly.
see, and they're throwing their hats
I
and
know.
calling their wife's names. And,
Well, the refs are only
You know.
human. You
That's
see it
right.
how
Right.
you get it. And when you have replay
So
come
how many
on,
challenges
we
are
can
you allowed
see-
to have? Every one? Every play?
No.
No, I think it's like regular coaches challenge, but still it's gonna be ticky tack. It's gonna take forever.
Mm-hmm.
It just ruins the game. Just get the call right, and then like I don't know.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too hard.
I think let there be a little human element still in sports.
and that
You-
too.
you've
like,
gotta have
it is. It's just it is what it is.
Maybe instead of
you
the coaching
lost.
challenge, maybe it should come up above and say, hey,
You know,
look, that was pass
I-
interference.
I kind of agree with you guys, but if I'm the Saint fans last year, that play wasn't even close. That shouldn't have been called. That was
Well,
terrible.
they screwed
They
themselves
could've-
the year before when they couldn't make the tackle.
I know.
They could have played. They could have played a little bit better in the first half
Oh,
too.
I
You
know.
know,
Even
I-
against
Come on.
Minnesota.
Come on.
Yeah.
That was
I'm just saying,
terrible. All right, but anyway, I got the Saints repeating. Who you got?
I got the Saints really going all the way.
I got the Saints. Don't sleep on the Falcons, but I still think Carolina's a little better than that.
I got the Saints, the only team coming out with a playoff.
Me too.
Saints and then Panthers wild card.
Wow. I got the Cowboys and
Cam's
Eagles.
hurt again. They say he'll
West.
be okay, but
Is he? Yeah, he's hurt again. That's right. The West, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, 49ers. I got the Rams winning that division.
Rams.
I think the Rams are going to win 11 games.
The Rams are good.
I got the Rams winning 12.
12?
I think they've upgraded. They got Clay Matthews now. They got Eric Weddle. I think was a great pickup.
He's a great player.
Yeah,
He's a great player.
He's like an ageless
and I think
wonder.
Yes, he
your
is.
your
I like him.
He's been
Ravens are
around
really
since
going
San
to miss
Diego
him.
That was a guy that Ocean
Oh, yeah,
Steels
I
would
think
have picked
so,
up.
too,
He
yeah.
would have fit right in with them
He wanted to go to Baltimore. And that was the dumbest move he did, wasn't it?
last year. But I mean, now he's on the
He was with them
Rams.
for what, 2 years?
I don't know anybody
But he's
wants
on the
to
Rams now. I meant when he left this show, I was wishing the Steelers would pick him up. He fit right in there with them. Who do you got?
The Rams. I think this is a one-horse race. I think
Me too.
Seattle lost a lot on their defense. Russell Wilson, I mean, he's very, very good, but it's hard to just do it by yourself all the time.
I think you might see Pete Carroll walk after this year. Too.
I think Pete Carroll's. I hate Pete Carroll, but I think Pete Carroll's a really good coach.
I
he is
do
a really
too,
good
but ain't
I mean, and I can't stand Pete
And
Carroll.
they always surprise me. I think last year I was like, oh, this team, they got a lot to
You
work
guys-
on. They're probably not going to make it.
You
There
realize-
they are. They made it.
you realize he was the head coach of the Jets and the Patriots at one time?
I like them taking a wild card spot behind the Rams, and
Wow.
the one thing that they know how to do in Seattle is win football games and get to the playoffs.
Tough place to play
Exactly.
on the road.
There's people out there are weird too. Oh, we're the 12th fan. Oh, we're noisy. We're gonna lose them.
Ed, who you got?
They're expansion team.
What, for all the way?
No, the
Oh.
NFC
I said the Rams.
Rams. Anybody else?
I have San Francisco
No.
as a wild
San
card.
Francisco.
I don't know what got into me. I must have been goofy.
Jimmy G to Kittles.
Yeah, I
It's
think
some
they.
bad shellfish. I mean, what happened?
Yeah, I know.
They need a lot to fall into place. They need their quarterback to
Exactly.
stay healthy. Their coach is good. He's a very smart guy.
Right.
But they have a lot to.
Then I
a
heard-
lot has to. Fit
I heard
together.
Garoppolo threw 5 straight interceptions on 5
Right.
straight
He
plays in
hasn't played
practice.
much.
Is Garoppolo
That's
the
great. He's
second
one of my
Played
coming?
fantasy
much.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Lovely.
He hasn't played much. This year's going to be a learning process for him all over again because he was out all of last year.
Well, San Francisco wins 10 games. You heard it here first.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, Garoppolo's like the second coming of Why Tittle.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Everybody plays good behind Brady. And then when they get their own job, they don't do anything.
exactly.
Think about that. How many guys have left Brady like the next greatest
If the
quarterback
Patriots
in the world?
trade a guy, assume he's bad. That's what I know.
Or he's just about over his career. Like when they get let those linemen go and they go somewhere else and they can't do anything.
It's kind of like Pittsburgh. Usually when somebody leaves from Pittsburgh, they don't do very well.
Kevin Green did all right when he left on
Yeah,
the defensive
he
line.
did. And AB will
1
do
year.
fine.
Yeah, Chad Brown
But he
did
still
okay.
didn't win anything.
Antonio Brown
Chad
will
Brown
do
didn't
good.
anything.
Le'Veon Bell will do good.
Chad Brown had a couple nice years in
By the
Seattle.
way,
I got a feeling Le'Veon Bell's gonna be hurt by week 6.
he might. NFC. Who goes to the Super Bowl for the NFC?
I got
Rams?
New Orleans versus Minnesota in the championship game, and I got New Orleans. New
Losing.
Orleans coming out of the NFC.
Against the Browns, and New Orleans losing to the Browns.
No, I had Kansas City beating the Browns, so I
Oh.
didn't go completely overboard.
Okay.
I have Philadelphia versus New Orleans, and I have Philadelphia being the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I got the Rams in New Orleans. I got the Rams going to the Super Bowl. Lon?
I got Rams and New Orleans going at it, and I got New Orleans going to the Super Bowl.
That'd be nice after
So-
last year.
Rams and the Bears. Rams taking it.
And then who plays in the Super Bowl? I got the Rams,
Rams
and
and
the Patriots.
Jacksonville.
You got the Rams and Jacksonville.
That would be a wild one.
Lon, who do you got?
I got the Patriots returning to the
Me
Super
too.
Bowl.
And the Rams.
I think I have the Patriots-Eagles rematch, and I like the Patriots.
Kansas City versus New Orleans.
That'd be exciting. How many Super Bowls has Brady won?
6.
And he could have won 8 if the Giants didn't pull 2 lucky plays in both games.
That's right.
I mean, the guy kisses the ball on his helmet. So the Giants win that one. And then Manning throws the best pass in his career when he hits Manningham along the sideline, right over the defender. The Giants win that
But
one.
also, if Atlanta just runs the ball at the 40,
Well, how about Seattle? Talking about
Seattle
running
runs the ball. Yeah.
Give it to
Yeah,
Armstrong.
throws the ball down
I
the
think the
2-yard
Patriots.
line.
I think looking back, the Patriots have the amount of Super Bowls that they should have had.
Wow. And then they kicked the field goal to win that first one. Vinatieri, right? Didn't they?
They won by a field goal the first 3.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what,
They always play good Super Bowls. Every
They do.
Super Bowl in the
Who'd
league
you
is
have,
always
Mike?
a close game.
I have the Patriots and the Rams. And
Yeah,
the Rams
Jones
win.
is the first quarterback to be signed by the XFL. Andrew Jones. Told you.
I'll be darned. That's some high tech
Beat
research.
an
right
expert.
there.
Expert.
XFL starts.
Wannabe expert.
XFL starts when?
Yeah, but it's XFL.
I know.
When
I'm
does
just
it start?
saying he got signed.
And
He was the
you know,
first
Lon,
player
you got to
signed.
cover that a little bit on your wrestling show. 'Cause that's part of the
Yeah,
wrestling,
we're
right?
going to talk about that a little bit with Vince McMahon. I
Yeah.
mean, he's had some turmoil inside the organization. Getting his.
Isn't his daughter doing a great job though?
No,
She's not?
that's been part of the problem. The writing, the storylines have been difficult. They've got a big contract signed with Fox,
Right.
so we're going to see some of the. You don't know what's going to happen. The storylines are going to get more vulgar, more edgy.
I
Who
saw that
knows?
Fox gave him a big deal.
What's oh yeah.
Yeah.
And AEW, new wrestling outfit, they've been around a little while. They got a deal with TNT to actually start this fall as well. So they're going to be network.
Except-
I'm sorry, TBS.
TBS. XFL starts January, February, right after Super Bowl, something like that. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, guys. Any questions about the NFL, major college? Any concerns?
No, I'm always right. So, it doesn't matter.
What about the state of football? A lot of high schools throughout the country are losing players. Less parents are putting their kids in football because of concussions and so forth. Within 25 years, American football going to swallow up and pass away.
Maybe before that.
It's on the decline. I don't see.
I still think though that where the biggest talent groups are, there's still a lot of kids playing.
Absolutely.
And a lot of kids see it as an escape. A lot of the most talented kids see it as an escape from inner city.
Being a part of something.
Then they're being a part of something that's bigger than where they were. And I
You
think
go to the
that,
bigger cities, you see kids fighting just to put the jersey on, just to stand on the sideline.
I think
You don't
I
see
think-
that
I
up
think-
around here because if they don't play,
Right.
they don't want. But other kids actually, fight for that chance to get.
Well, I
played
think
on the
where it's big, it'll stay big. I think though where it's maybe people are like, should I play? Should I not? That's where you'll see the diminish.
It's going to be the same concern. I mean, my mother back in the 70s, told the coach, because they came recruited at the ball fields. Here's me, a big 8-year-old kid, and the coach was like, hey, why isn't your boy playing football? And she's like, you going to pay his broken leg? It wasn't she was afraid of me getting hurt.
Right.
She goes, you going to pay the broken leg? Because not everybody had universal benefits back then.
And then a week later, his mom got a new car. So then mom was able to play.
I had to talk her into letting
He
me
wasn't
play.
that good of
I had
a
to talk her into
prospect.
letting me play. And she became a big fan. I got hurt more playing baseball than I did football.
And that's a growing sport in America among all aspects of our
Baseball's
society.
been ridiculous at the youth level. This whole travel crap.
AAU stuff
This
like
AAU
basketball, it's all
stuff.
about money. That's all.
I
it
mean,
is.
you're talking, you got coach travel. I mean, who can coach Pitt's travel teams? You have to have matching bags and gloves and jackets.
It's all about money.
How ridiculous is that to the kids? Honest to goodness. You know, take a look at what your kid is going to actually be able to achieve in the world of sports. And it's all that important because all you're doing is locking all these other potential kids out. Just like everybody, like they got on Jamie Plunkett about saying, okay, we're going to move to this division so we can have county kids come in. You know why? Because parents were tired of saying, I'm not moving my kid to Meadville just to play bulldog hockey.
Other than that, they're back to where only Meadville kids go.
Right, exactly. They finally went back to that. But
Right.
you know what?
You're
At that
right.
time, you had to make that move and that
Right.
decision.
Right.
Parents at some point are going to say, I want to spend $300 so my kid can have matching batting gloves and jackets with the other kids? Screw that. That's ridiculous.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, told us how we felt about it. But
Yeah, travel coach pitch. Are you kidding me?
travel coach pitch. What are they, 7 years old?
Yeah, exactly. Travel coach pitch.
You were mad because you didn't get picked up for travel coach pitch, right?
Let me tell you, I'll tell you what, I had a pretty damn good run when I was young.
Yeah. He was
So
on the All-Star team.
I guarantee I came
His
closer
team
than
never
anybody
made
else
it.
in
His
this
team
group.
never made it to Williamsport, but they were good.
He struck out twice on T-ball.
It's amazing how many kids you hear that we're one game away from Williamsport. It's like millions of them.
I know, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, that's...
I do agree with you though. It's
get
just
that
more of a money thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's the
just
AA
travel.
You start funneling into the AAU programs and all this other stuff, all of a sudden you start getting weird stuff like lacrosse.
And by the way, they
And I'm not saying anything bad about
Not a
lacrosse.
lacrosse guy.
But people, stop trying to get me to watch lacrosse because I don't care to watch lacrosse.
fastest growing sport in America.
Lacrosse?
Yeah,
Soccer.
it is. Just one throw. No.
No, more
lacrosse
kids are
is
just going to turn to video games and playing video games because that's
We
more
don't-
exciting.
we don't wanna
That's
edit
more
that out.
exciting than
Yeah.
lacrosse.
All right, well, we digress. So
I'm
we're going to
sorry.
wrap it up
Do
here.
you like lacrosse?
We're
Would
gonna-
you sit down and actually say, damn, this lacrosse
We're
match
gonna
is
wrap
good
it
on
up.
TV?
We're going to wrap it up on the
I'm sorry,
NFL
Mike.
Major College Preview. So, for Ed, Lon, Bill, Jordan, and Mike,
Nice save.
have a good day, everybody.